morning. Good morning. And welcome to St. Paul's Universalist Church. I'm glad to see we all survived our collective time travel experience last night. Time travel with consent of the traveler, I guess, twice a year. Just so, like several of you have asked already, but had a little restraint gone bad in my other job. But I'm doing all right. Funny story. The injury occurred to myself and a colleague at the end of the day Tuesday. Wednesday I stayed home and kept my foot up, and Thursday I returned to work with the cane. One of my other students next to the office I'm in said, "What happened?" And I said, "Well, and he said, "Oh, you're getting old." And I'm like, "I'll show you old." I thought it, I didn't say it. As far as announcements, I don't have any in front of me.
The newsletter is ready.
Oh, the newsletter is ready. If you would so kindly do so, if you take one, on the back, sign your name, and we mail it to the folks who aren't here to receive one. So if you don't want 2 copies, just sign your name. We also have a craft fair coming up on December 13th. Liz, do you want to say anything? I know we have some crafters.
Yes, yep. So we have some crafters. Sorry. We have space for probably 2 more. So if you know anybody, we're trying to keep it handmade stuff. So trying not to do like Color Street, Scentsy, that kind of stuff. If we can avoid it, we really like the handmade things. We're doing a bake sale, a basket raffle. So if anyone could please donate to either the baskets or the bake sale, that would be very appreciated. We do have Marty, who is wrapping gifts, not wrapping like Eleanor. So Marty will be wrapping for people on a donation basis. We'll be downstairs 9 to 3 during Christmas in Little Falls on the 13th.
Yeah, hidden talents, Marty. I had no idea that you were such a Santa's helper there. Very good. Yeah, don't look at my wrapping. I might bring mine to you. Any other announcements that anyone would like to briefly share with the congregation? All right, hearing none, let us proceed to our musical call to worship.
My church has but one temple, wide as the world is wide, set with 1,000,000 altars, where 1,000,000 hearts abide. My church has no creed to mark, no woman, child, or man, but says, "Come all and worship to everyone who can."
I open our service with the words of the late Eleanor Roosevelt. You're going to be hearing a lot about Mrs. Roosevelt today in relation to another topic. And she said, "It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it." Please join me in the words. As the kindling chalice calls us to community, as the flame of this chalice reminds us of our values, as the glow of this chalice encourages us to hope, let there be light. Our opening song is in the Teal Supplement, number 1046. Please remain standing and join me in the words of affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another and with our God. We are now at the time of the service for sharing joys, sorrows, or concerns.
Yeah, but I do want to, yeah. Our daughter Julie had a complicated surgery a couple weeks ago. She's home and recovering, and she wants to thank the congregation for cards and her get well prayers, so she's coming along, but slowly. Some of you might have noticed that Jane Curtin hasn't been with us for a few weeks. I spoke with her yesterday. She is at Bassett Cooperstown Hospital, and she's been there since the beginning of the week because her blood work has been so far off that they couldn't find. She's been in the hospital twice for it. So they couldn't find out what was going on with her. They've done a lot of different tests. And finally, they think they've come up with a diagnosis, and all the tests should be back by the beginning of next week, and she's hoping she can get out. She's feeling a little bit better, but I'm hoping that, she will recover from what she's going through. Yeah.
Good morning. Ongoing concern for my guest family. The children are all being placed now in their own apartment, hopefully in a day or so, and the rent is $3 for them. So that's gonna work out. The man is dying. The transition out of his home as a result of that law put him right into a very serious condition. And I think it's his time anyway, but thanks for everybody's support in the meantime. And we have an upcoming trial on the 25th of November where these people who have been persecuting us, hopefully will begin to be held accountable. I also got in contact with a prior family that was ousted in the same manner just down the road from us 10 years ago. So it's really interesting if we don't stand up, like what you were saying, if we don't stand up and do something, it will continue to happen to our children, to our neighbors. And so thank you, church, for being a courageous group.
I just want to thank everybody that came out yesterday to Salisbury to support the craft fair. I'm not sure how we did yet, but we saw a lot of new faces, so we're very excited at that. Kind of a teaser for Salisbury. I don't have all the details yet, but in the coming months, if you are interested in a Salem bus trip, we are planning one. So I will have more info when I get more details on that, and we will get you squared away.
Yes, this is a sorrow for the passing of Pedro Justiniano. My son's only known him for 3 years. Pedro's brother Hugo is a close friend of my son. They went to grade school together. And Hugo didn't know he had another brother when his mom and dad divorced here in Little Falls. Dad moved down to Atlanta, started up another family, and he met his brother. He's in his 40s. He was in his 40s. He's only known him for 3 years, and he was in a near fatal car accident. They had him on life support, and he succumbed to his injuries he had. And this is a prayer for Pedro.
Candle of concern. I've heard conflicting messages as to whether they really are discontinued or not. And as some of you, anybody who's turned on a television or a news source knows, SNAP benefits are under threat. I don't really care who people blame for the government shutdown. It's impacting everyday people's lives. I would encourage you strongly, and I am happy and encouraged to see that throughout the Mohawk Valley, down our way and out this way, people stepping up for their communities. I think there is a misconception that SNAP benefits are for lazy people who just don't want to work. Statistically, that doesn't bear out. The majority of people who use them have jobs. I won't give you an economics lesson, but Google what the minimum wage would be if it were adjusted for inflation, and you will find it's a lot higher than what it is. So I encourage you to do what you can to help our neighbors. Are there people who take advantage of it? Absolutely, but there are many, many people, including some of the students I work with, who need those resources in order to eat. It's a basic need. So please give generously, especially this time of year as things get colder. And, you know, we talk of gratitude and, of course, everything that comes with Christmas. You know, let's live our values. This is a candle of remembrance. Yesterday was All Saints' Day, which, you know, Halloween, All Hallows' Eve was what followed All Saints' Day. Traditionally, in the Catholic Church, it's for remembering saints, but in our tradition, it's more for remembering those who, you know, are no longer with us since last year. Most recently, Kevin Carrick, but, you know, Jerry mentioned his son's friend. This is in remembrance and in honor of those who have passed beyond the veil in the time since last November. And as is our tradition, we light a final candle for any joy, sorrow, or concern that goes unspoken, but remains in our hearts and minds. I invite you to join me now in a time of prayerful meditation. These are the words of the Reverend William Sinkford. He was a former president of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Spirit of life and love, dear God of all nations, there is so much work to do. We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy. Help us hold fast to our vision of what can be. May we see the hope in our history and find the courage and the voice to work for that constant rebirth of freedom and justice. That is our dream. Amen. Let us now share a moment of silence where we listen to the wisdom of our hearts and minds. Give and receive the morning offering to support the work, the wonder, and the witness of this community. Mark, was that Kie Jesus? Jesus, okay. When I first typed that in, I'm thinking, pie Jesus? All right. It is Thanksgiving time. In any case, I invite you to join me in responsive reading number 602. These are the words of the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tse, but they are just as timely today as they were millennia ago. If there is to be peace, if there is to be peace in the world, if there is to be peace in the nations, if there is to be peace in the cities, if there is to be peace between neighbors, if there is to be peace in the home, our next song is number 123. United Nations Sunday was technically last week, but since there was a cluster service held in Utica, I had to put it off a week. And I'm going to start in what might be an unlikely place. Paring this down into a brief sermon was a little challenging. I'm guessing you recognize this famous woman, Eleanor Roosevelt. Born Anna Eleanor Roosevelt to a wealthy family in 1884, she had an unhappy childhood, losing both parents and a brother before the age of 10. When she was 15, she attended finishing school in London at the Allenswood Academy. Eleanor flourished under the guidance of Marie Silvestri, the school's headmistress, who had this radical notion of encouraging independent thinking in young women. Returning to the country in the early 20th century, in 1905, Eleanor married her fifth cousin, once removed, Franklin. Their wedding was planned for St. Patrick's Day because it coincided with the President of the United States, who happened to be Eleanor's uncle, Teddy Roosevelt. He was there, he gave the bride away. As you probably know, Teddy was not a quiet personality, was not a subdued personality, kind of dominated the wedding. It was almost like, yeah, there's this wedding going on, but hey, it's the President, Teddy Roosevelt. Eleanor and Franklin did not have a particularly happy marriage. She often felt that she had to live in the shadow of her overbearing mother-in-law, Sarah. And she admitted that motherhood of their 5 children, they had 6, but 5 survived, motherhood did not come easily to her. And Franklin was not always a faithful husband. Despite this, Eleanor nursed Franklin back to health when he became crippled by polio in the early 20s. But she also started to live a more independent life, devoting her time to social causes. She became active in politics, eventually following her husband to the governor's mansion here in New York State. And those of you who have been to Hyde Park, FDR, people knew that he was crippled, but to show that he was up for the job, he is one of the few gubernatorial candidates who managed to visit every county in New York when he campaigned. And then, of course, he went on to the White House. Eleanor Roosevelt was the longest-serving First Lady in our history from 1933 to 1945. And she redefined the role for the modern era. She would travel the country extensively during the Great Depression and World War II, serving as her husband's eyes and ears, kind of being a connection between the White House and the common person. She championed many, many social causes. Just to name a few: civil rights, workers' rights, women's rights. You could write a whole book on what she did just with that aspect of her life, and some have. When her husband died only a month into his 4th term, Eleanor left the White House, but was called back into service by FDR's successor, Harry Truman, as an American representative to the newly formed United Nations. And she would go on to become the UN's very first Commissioner of Human Rights. And it's this connection that I want to focus on for the rest of my talk. Eleanor worked tirelessly with others, but she made this her life's work, to help create, ratify, and promote the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The 30 articles of which are highlighted on the handout I provided to you. The Declaration was unanimously ratified. That's not to say that all countries ratified it, just some abstained, but no country voted against it. And I encourage you to take a look at that paper. This isn't school, we're not going to go over all of these. Though I do want to call your attention to some of the items. Up at the top, notice that the preamble of the Declaration affirms the dignity and worth of all people. Sound familiar? It was a significant influence on our principles. And the Declaration not only speaks about what you have the freedom to, but also what people around the world should have the freedom from. For example, it provides for things like the freedom to an adequate standard of living, and to take part in your country's government. But it also talks about freedom from things like slavery and torture. Mrs. Roosevelt passionately believed in that declaration. She felt it was perhaps her greatest achievement, and she had many. Now, despite the overwhelming support it received, like many United Nations proclamations, it was up to each country to interpret and make good on any commitments they made in support of it. The unfortunate truth is that no nation follows through on all 30 of those 30 articles. I would argue that our own country is going through a period of significant backtracking with regard to human rights. My proof of this is just this last March, we were added to a human rights watch list for the first time ever. It's a slippery slope whether we're Americans or citizens of any other country, we get into a mindset of feeling that things only matter when they affect us personally. Where am I going with all of this? Well, first of all, the more I learn about Eleanor Roosevelt, the more I respect her and her accomplishments. I know she's one of my wife's personal heroines. That's a lot of how I've learned about her. When we visit Hyde Park, which isn't that far from here, there's the Presidential Library and all this stuff. But there's also Eleanor's residence, Val Hill, on the other side. We always make a habit of visiting there. And it's like a bit of a pilgrimage, isn't it, Don? She did a lot of good in her life, a lot of good. But her work with the United Nations earned her the nickname, the First Lady of the World. And in a broader sense, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights represents the best of humanity, our highest aspirations for our race. It's not a statement of where we are, but it serves as a hope for where we one day could be. And in that regard, and I got thinking about this, it's not any different from things like, blessed are the poor, the meek, the merciful, the peacemakers. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Or that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. And one of personal value to us, we the members of the Unitarian Universalist Association do hereby affirm and promote those principles. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, like the Beatitudes, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Gettysburg Address, and the 7 principles of our denomination, and I could list many, many more, are lofty, well-meaning, and powerful words. But what gives them meaning are our continual efforts to work toward making those words real, making them a reality. Because otherwise, they're just empty, nice-sounding words, sentences. If humanity is to be judged, let it be judged on how well it lives up to its highest principles. We've got a lot of work to do, to be sure, but we're getting there. It sounds kind of far out, but sometimes just a flight of fancy. I wonder, the universe is billions of years old. I wonder if there are other civilizations out there more advanced than ours, and that they watch and they're waiting for us to mature enough that we are worth their time in this regard. Hopefully, they have achieved those things themselves. But anyway, back to reality. As Eleanor Roosevelt observed. Where do human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any map of the world. Yet they are the world of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Such are the places where every man, woman, and child seeks equal justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere. Without concerted citizen action to uphold them close to home, we shall look in vain for progress in the larger world. In other words, it's up to us as individuals across the world to make the Declaration of Human Rights a reality. Something to think about. Our closing song is number 140. Posed by, surprise, Eleanor Roosevelt. I saw it on a wall when I was a teenager, and I've often thought of it over the years. She asked, when will our consciences grow so tender that we will act to prevent human misery rather than avenge it? really getting Eleanor Roosevelt today, because some of these words were said by Adelaide Stevenson at her funeral. Please join me in the words. The flame is gone from sight, yet it still burns within. When shadows grow long, may we light the flame rather than curse the darkness, becoming bearers of comfort, of kindness,